Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
I believe there's only one thing we really need to change the world and make it a better place.
Caring for Horse People, an interview with Ren Hurst, vegan, part 2 of 2. Continue watching to find out more.
Vegan, because hell is not just a word. It truly exists, and it's terrifying.
Greetings, kind-hearted viewers. I'm Finn. When you are in Svalbard, don't forget to say God dag. It means good day in Norwegian, the official language of Svalbard. The people of Svalbard salute your devoted efforts for a compassionate lifestyle change that is sweeping the planet at this critical time. Welcome to today's show, Caring for Horse People, an interview with Ren Hurst, vegan, part 2 of 2, here on Supreme Master Television. In our first episode, Ren shared her journey of starting out as a horseperson trainer and how, through her own personal inner growth, she was able to gain a completely different perspective on how animal people, in particular people from the equine kingdom, would choose to interact with their human caregivers based on understanding their emotional well-being. Ren's deep connection with horse people has enabled her to develop her own unique techniques of training horse people as well as their caregivers. Ren explains further.
So my basic understanding of domestication is when we interrupt someone's natural emotional processes in order to control them. And how I define trauma is the interruption of those emotional processes at an early developmental stage. So when I control how somebody feels, then it's very, very easy to manipulate their behavior. And our entire society is built upon this. Making sure there's a space of invitation before those physical interactions so that the animal has a chance to say no. I teach my students how to recognize these subtlest forms of no, which are basically anything that is not an obvious yes, or anything that is not a yes that's being manipulated. And so my students are constantly looking for the no from their animals rather than like a trainer's perspective, which is to constantly look for the yes in order to get the behavior that we seek. And so we're really teaching the animals how to be emotionally autonomous. And the only way that we can do that is if we're working on that same emotional autonomy within ourselves. And when that is in place, the need for training and unnecessary control just flies out the window, because once you're emotionally mature, the animal is going to cooperate. The animal is going to listen to you. The animal is going to follow you in the same way that wild animals do not need to train each other out in the wilderness. When you're an emotionally congruent, authentic leader, your discernment and your intuition and your instinct is so on point that you don't need to reach outside of yourself for unnecessary control. And so I'm trying to teach people how to reclaim that authentic sense of power within themselves from a creation standpoint, rather than, reaching out in every direction imaginable to have some fleeting sense of safety and control in the world.
According to the moral, social, and spiritual codes of conduct, one must not interfere with the lives of any animal in God's creation. In India, the standard of living is enunciated as ahimsa, or non-injury to all living creatures. This led to the vegetarian diet. Sant Kirpal Singh Ji, vegetarian.
Beautiful viewers, let us take a few moments to appreciate our animal person friends for the many talents and gifts they are blessed with. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for more inspiring messages of peace. Welcome back, warm-hearted viewers. We will continue with our show, Caring for Horse People, an interview with Ren Hurst, vegan, part 2 of 2. Ren's understanding of our animal person friends reveals that we all have the ability to tap into their true nature when we align our values and actions with the ways of higher heavens and true wisdom. Our most beloved Supreme Master Ching Hai often informs us of all the treasures and gifts revealed to her by wild and domesticated animal people, and that we should never take for granted the valuable messages and protection sent by animal people, from the humble spider people to the immense whale people frolicking in our oceans.
Not only the animal people, but insects even have souls. Plants have souls. Trees have souls. They could speak to me and to you. The trees, the plants, the mountains, the flowers. They are really just like us, only appearing in different physical forms to color our life and beautify our world. Just like there are different shades and shapes of flowers or different types and sizes of trees, yet all have the same essence. Just like us humans, we are sometimes of different shape and color, but we have the same essence. The animal people are just equipped with finer faculties and other kinds of intelligence than ours. Or at least they retain this divine gift which we have forgotten or neglected.
Ren has taken what she's experienced with her cherished horse companions and written a book called Riding on the Power of Others, a horsewoman's path to unconditional love. And she has worked on her second one titled Animal Kin, Restoring Connection to Wild Wisdom, which will be released this coming winter, with a new title as Wisdom of Wildness, Healing the Trauma of Domestication. Ren explains why it is necessary to share a second book with the world.
The first book is really about my personal journey with how I came to a lot of these conclusions, and it barely scratches the surface for what my work has ultimately become. And so for horse people, I would say Riding on the Power of Others is a really great introspective look at somebody's entire journey in that industry, someone with a vast amount of knowledge and experience within all many facets of that industry, where I'm really expose myself. I really expose my trials. I expose what I went through. I expose what might drive somebody to move into horsemanship in the first place from a trauma perspective. But at the end of that book, all I've shared with my readers is what's possible, not how to do it. And so the second book that I'm working on takes a really hard look at what I believe is the foundation of trauma, which has such huge links and parallels to domestication in general, even maybe to the origins of trauma. And we're looking at that in a way that gives an entirely different perspective on the nature of our relationship to animals and how that is actually stunting human development more so than the harm it causes animals. I think in the first book, I was still focused on the harm being caused to animals. And in the second book, there's been a whole lot more maturing and evolution in my own development to really explain and lead people towards understanding that the nature of my work is really about developing the human species. But the second book actually has my body of work in it, in the principles, and teaches people what those are at a basic foundational level so that they can practically apply them in their lives.
Ren's passion and commitment to understanding how best to interact with animal people, not just people of the equine kingdom, but towards all our animal people co-inhabitants, is something that we can all learn from and aspire towards.
I believe there's only one thing we really need to change the world and make it a better place. And that is our relationship to emotion and understanding what it actually is and what it's for. I spend an enormous amount of time out here in the wilderness. I get to interact with wild animals every day, and it has taught me more than any education ever could have within our domesticated world. There is so much we do not understand about the nature of emotion as the connecting force to our inner guidance and inner wisdom. And so when we are able to feel the full spectrum of emotion and process it physiologically within our bodies rather than thinking about it or talking about it or wanting to change it or thinking some of it's bad and some of it's good, every bit of that energy that moves through us is such valuable information.
Eating meat and other animal people products is beyond brutality. Stop it now.
Compassionate Ren Hurst, we thank your selfless efforts in raising the stature of our animal person friends. May your mission be fruitful and prosperous and enjoy the blessings of all heavenly beings. For more information about Ren Hurst, please visit facebook.com/ren.hurst and instagram.com/rendermewild. Healthy viewers, thank you for joining us today. Coming up next is Whatever You Do Is All For Yourself, Part 2 of 9 on Between Master and Disciples. May heaven's light shine in every corner of the world, and may all humans and animal people live in harmonious peace and love.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/VE.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/VE.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/VE.
Наши программы предлагают много языков. Пожалуйста, посмотрите suprememastertv.com/schedule и suprememastertv.com/VE.